Things are getting interesting at Arsenal after securing a place in the Champions League knockouts. Ethan Nwaneri was shining once again. So today we'll break down all of what we learned from Girona, as well as getting a massive transfer update on the forwards. We'll discuss the potential transfer for Mathys Tel, as well as revealing all the details behind the surprise move for Ollie Watkins. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Fabrizio Romano. Welcome back to your boys channel, and the Champions League knockout place has been secured and there has been a bit of a transfer bomber, so we've got so much to break down. As per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy it and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Help your boy on his road to 300,000 subscribers. But starting off with what we learned from Girona 1, Arsenal 2. Arsenal's final Champions League group stage game with some breaking news before the game. Mikel confirming that David Raya was not fit. Despite travelling with the team to Spain, he was not available. So in come Norberto Neto, Arsenal's last minute summer signing to become our oldest ever player to make his debut since 1915. We have now used 4 goalkeepers in a single season, for the first time since 2020-21. 35 years of age, a man of so much experience, especially in the Premier League. Let's just say it was far from a masterclass, dropping a 6.1 rating with 2 saves, a minus 0.57 goals prevented, with 1 error led to a goal. We have to talk about the goal that Arsenal conceded. What was Neto doing? Well outside his box, making it so much easier for Danjuma. Why is he going to save the ball outside the box? Because if he touched the ball, he would have got sent off. This was never a long-term Arsenal target, it was only a last-minute recruitment. Arsenal of course went for young João Garcia, but with a release clause of over £20 million, Arsenal went for the more emergency option. And you can see exactly why he's not been playing, making it even more clear to Arsenal fans the importance of David Raya. Often talked about the defence he has in front of him, but seeing Neto on goal today struggle with the basics makes you appreciate David Raya that bit more. So far, no confirmed news about any long-term injury, hopefully making him available for the game against Man City on Sunday. You also had a start though for Ricardo Calafiori, starting at left back over Mathys Tel and dropping a 7.3 rating with a very solid 70 minutes, 1 tackle, 2 interceptions and 3 tackles, 6 out of 7 ground balls won. If it wasn't for a slight offside, he could have scored another fantastic finish. Gvardiol-like in the final third, bursting forwards, with the ambition to not only get into the box but also score goals. You then look at the average Arsenal positions, and what you notice straight away is how much we were overloading the left hand side. A major part behind it is Ricardo Calafiori. Bravery to demand the ball and go and make things happen. What I love about Calafiori is his urgency. Every time he receives the ball, he's such a positive thinker. I think a lot of Arsenal fans forget that he is still only 22 years of age. Far from the final product, but already with so much potential. We've got a major battle developing on the left-hand side, as Mikel threw in the tank Mathys Tel, dropping a 6.9 rating, completing all of his passes and winning all of his ground balls. After all the controversy against Wolves, the FA have now confirmed the red card has been upheld, overturning Lewis Kelly's red card and removing his 3-match suspension. He is now back available for the game against City, and that's where Mikel has to think. After a clutch goal from Calafiori against Wolves, another strong performance today against Girona, but with Mathys' profile still being so standout, one of the few Arsenal players that can receive the ball and burst past pressure. Who is going to be our starting left back? But in a game that Arsenal hit an XG of 2.27, holding Girona to 0.83, the star of the show and the player of the match was Ethan Nwaneri, back in the Arsenal starting lineup as a right winger and dropping a 7.5 rating, with a goal on his first ever Champions League start and 1 out of 1 dribble. 1 Champions League start, 1 Champions League goal and 1 Champions League man of the match, becoming the second youngest Englishman ever to score in the Champions League after Jude Bellingham, having now scored 6 goals this season. What we are seeing here is one of the most complete Arsenal youngsters that ever come through Hill End. Glimpses of Cesc Fabregas with his bravery on the ball. Even Bukayo Saka wasn't this good at 17. Despite the stat coming out after the game, of only Fabregas and Saka being involved in more goals than Nwaneri at 17. I'm not quite sure their stat is though, because in terms of Bukayo, his first ever Arsenal goal came at 18, when he scored that wonder goal against Frankfurt. Regardless for Arsenal, all that matters is this season. When you've got a star boy like Nwaneri so impactful on the ball, you think about the goal he scored itself and the confidence it takes. Champions League nights cutting inside like Iron Robin. It's not even the first time that we've seen that this season. Nwaneri is the epitome of a wonder kid. For an Arsenal team looking to replace a star boy Bukayo Saka, who despite being injured in December, has still created more big chances than most Salah, Cole Palmer and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Even as a teenager, Nwaneri is taking on the mantle. In this game here being Arsenal's highest player in terms of goal probability added. Despite all the talk of Arsenal signing a brand new right winger after the Saka injury, I think there's a reason why Arsenal have been pursuing a striker instead. Mainly being the emergence of Ethan Nwaneri. Mikel trusting him more and more and him delivering. Can we just talk about Hell End for a second? Delivering 2 lab-made youngsters in the space of only 18 months. How much are Mathys Tel and Ethan Nwaneri worth on the current market? Potentially over £150 million. It completely dispels the myth that Mikel won't give youngsters chances. So after the recent news about Aiden Heaven, set to leave Arsenal to go to Man United, and here we go confirmed, Arsenal offered him a new contract but he rejected it, with Arsenal having a stacked back line. Saliba, Gabriel, Timber, Calafiori, White, Tomiyasu and Kivior. Heaven may have been a great talent but the space wasn't there. But in the case of Miles and Ethan, the talent is so undeniable and so ready. They are now fully a part of this first team squad. But from the star boys to Uncle Raheem, starting for Arsenal once again dropping a 6.8 rating, 0 goals from an XG of 0.84, 3 shots on goal and 3 dribbles, on top of 1 penalty miss. It wasn't really a game of lack of trying. Raheem was definitely trying to get on the ball and make things happen, always trying to beat his fullback and give urgency to the Arsenal attack, but the penalty completely summed him up. Having gone to himself after getting the handball, given the chance to boost his confidence, for me he never looked like he was going to score. But what we are seeing right now is a player that doesn't quite have the belief he used to have. Once upon a time a superstar with numbers comparing to Lionel Messi, but after a rocky spell at Chelsea and the pressure at Arsenal, Raheem definitely looked a lot more threatening on the left hand side. But having seen what he's capable of, Arsenal fans will demand a lot more. With the Champions League group stage finalised, Arsenal ended in third, securing a knockout stage place, with a very impressive record of 6 wins, 1 loss, 16 goals scored and 3 conceded, only one of those being from open play. With Arsenal winning 4 Champions League games in a row for the first time since 2006, the year they got to the final. On the Mikel Arteta, we have won 10 of 14 Champions League games, only losing 2 in the process against Bayern Munich and Inter Milan. According to ex-player Owen Hargreaves, Arsenal look a lot more ready than they were last season. Experience matters of course, and after seeing Arsenal last year get all the way to the quarterfinals, our defence this year has reached a new level, with the least amount of XG conceded, having not conceded a single goal at the Emirates Stadium. These are the teams that Arsenal could play in the round of 16. AC Milan, PSV, Feyenoord and Juventus, with a very good chance to enter the quarterfinals once again. With our style of play being all about the fine margins, we've seen it work in the past. Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid being the prime example, getting to multiple finals over the past 10 years, with the return of Bukayo Saka to come and Wanyeri growing as well. Having now qualified for the top 8, Arsenal now receive at least 89 million euros, funds that can be very useful in terms of transfers, because the group stage phase may have been impressive, but we still have a lot to grow. If there's any ambition to win the competition, the further we progress, it will be less about tactics and more about individual brilliance, as we saw in the Champions League final itself. Dortmund dominated, they had all the chances, but all it took was 2 moments from Real Madrid, and they were once again lifting the trophy. So moving on to the breaking Arsenal transfer news. Less than a week left until transfer deadline day, the clock is ticking and Arsenal need to act, with a potential opportunity opening up in Bayern Munich. As a Fabrizio Romano exclusive confirmed, Mathys Tel has decided to leave Bayern this January, and the player and Bayern are now testing options in the market. With Chelsea asked for Tel at the beginning of January, there are also other clubs keen, so the race is open. 19 years of age, a wonder kid that is rated so highly, known for his devastating ball striking, compared to the profile of Sadio Mane, able to play on the left wing and also potentially as a centre forward, both areas that Arsenal looking to strengthen. As confirmed by Sami Mokbel, Spurs alongside 3 other Premier League rivals have now put Tel on their radar, with Bayern ready to sanction the loan deal. As confirmed with the reliable Florian Plettenberg, Arsenal and Man United are both now in direct contact with Mathys Tel's management. There's a reason why so many top clubs are after this guy. Despite not scoring a single goal this season, last year he had 16 goals and assists, with 7 Bundesliga goals and only 6 starts, all from an XG of 3.72. Tel is a sharpshooter in the final third. And in terms of Chelsea, according to reports, Tel has made it clear that he doesn't want to go there, with the competition there just as big as in Munich. He wants to leave so he can play regularly, with even Ryan Taylor of the Express confirming Tel will seek assurances over playing time before committing to any transfer, despite communicating to Bayern a desire to leave before the deadline. Having started in Bayern's last Champions League game against Slovan Bratislava, here he was seen after the game potentially saying goodbye to the Bayern Munich fans, with even the Bayern director confirming Mathys Tel wants to leave, so we will assess all options and decide what to do. I can understand him. While Arsenal will see his potential but also room for instant impact, with Tel already admitting his idol was Thierry Henry. In terms of the Arsenal goat himself, he says Tel can do extraordinary things. When he enters a match, you see it. Already he is scoring goals when he comes on. He always faces forward. Even if he plays only 1 minute, he creates 2 chances. The race is definitely open and I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans excited. But as fans, we also have to understand his age. Only 19 years old and still very raw. If Arsenal's goal this year is to get over the line and win titles, this is definitely a market opportunity. But whether it's him or Sesko, any players that are very young, they of course will need time to adapt. So with Arsenal in phase 5 trying to claw back into the title race, a need for a player for instant impact, we got a transfer bomber out of nowhere. As confirmed by the secret scouts, Arsenal had made an approach for Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins, with a fee in the region of £60 million. With no agreement or decision yet, talks with Aston Villa and the players' reps were advancing, as Arsenal tried to land the striker before deadline day. But with Villa wanting job feeders before they consider selling Watkins, the player himself wants to move. An RKO out of nowhere, Arsenal were at it once again, but as Fabrizio Romano confirmed, the offer was rejected, with Villa not happy with the timing of the bid, ahead of a crucial game in the Champions League for the club. In terms of the player himself, of course he wants to move, with a secret scout confirming terms between the player and Arsenal are not a problem. A well-known Arsenal fan who back in 2020 confirmed that his dream was to play for Arsenal one day. 29 years of age, in the peak of his powers. Since the start of last year, only Mo Salah with 50 had registered more non-penalty goals and assists than Ollie Watkins with 45. With the same amount of goals and assists last year as Erling Haaland, In terms of availability, a machine, never missing a single game in his entire career via injury. It was very much a non-Arsenal move, but it makes a lot of sense. At a stage of the project where Arsenal have to get over the line, with so many young players already at the club, the idea of signing a Premier League proven striker, who we've seen cause chaos against Arsenal so many times, it's not about winning next year, it's about winning now. And in terms of the play, he started for Villa once again, this time against Celtic in the final Champions League group stage game, dropping a 7.7 rating with 1 goal scored, as well as 2 assists. And according to reports, Arsenal are likely to test the waters once again, if they are given any encouragement they can sign the player, but with one clear issue in the way, and that player being John Duran. On the bench for Aston Villa in the game against Celtic, another striker highly in demand, this time went by Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, with a major saga developing of him and Victor Boniface, both strikers who had got an agreement with the club, but Al Nassr only wanted one. We have now got a Fabrizio Romano here we go for John Duran to Al Nassr, with Villa receiving €77 million. A medical is booked tomorrow and he will fly to Saudi Arabia, which of course has a major impact for Arsenal in the race for Ollie Watkins. As Unai Emery confirmed after the game, I don't want Watkins to leave, he is our striker. It's good news to have offers from other clubs, but we have our own sporting targets. So to get this deal, we're going to be demanding Watkins is our striker. With even Ben Jacobs confirming, Villa have no plans to sell Watkins if Duran departs. With the Saudi Pro deadline day being on Friday, Villa have already told Arsenal they don't want to engage in negotiations. With even Matt Lord saying that Aston Villa are fuming over the timing of Arsenal's £60 million offer. It is a bit weird on the Arsenal perspective, and I'll tell you why. If Watkins is the player that Mikel Arteta has always wanted, why wait until 29 days into the window, allowing the Duran saga to develop, giving Villa even less time to find a replacement? But for Villa themselves, they also have to now consider, if Arsenal were to make a new offer of nearly £70 million, for a player 29 years of age, that's peak value, money they won't ever get on the table again. But in terms of Arsenal themselves, according to reliable team using ticks, we have inquired about several strikers over the past couple of days, with John Cross confirming that despite the bid being turned for Watkins, we are ready to make a fresh offer before the deadline, with Arsenal also keen to Benjamin Sesko. He remains a long-term target for the summer. But when you put £60 million on the table, what Arsenal have confirmed is money is available. Money that even if Watkins isn't available, they have to go and invest. A saga is starting to develop and things are getting interesting. But of course, you've also got the Norwegian wonder kids for Naipan. Having spoken to Arsenal and been in London, we have made our proposal, and according to The Athletic, Arsenal believe they are well positioned to sign the player, but also want to buy opponents today in Girona. According to Sam Dean, they believe he would be part of their team immediately, which might not be the case if he joins Arsenal, with an argument that he's more suited to La Liga and the style of play, but would have to wait for a chance in the Premier League. Girona, of course, are a part of the City group, with the idea of signing him on a potential route to Man City in the future. With deadline day soon approaching, a decision is around the corner, but for Arsenal themselves also wanting to go forward, it's now a matter of, if not Ollie Watkins, do they have another surprise around the corner? But that is the video there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow Boy on all of the social medias, and the links are down below in the description. But that was the 5 things we learned from Girona 1, Arsenal 2, as well as all the latest transfer news. A bomber on Ollie Watkins, of course. We're not quite sure if that deal will get done, but it is a surprise out of nowhere. And for Arsenal, we need a few more as the window deadline approaches. So as for my friends, stay tuned as things get intriguing, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and a bit.